Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between, welcome to a special mini episode of the Chaps Chat Cats. My name's Jake Botel, that's Sambo, that's Johnny, and we're here to talk about players we're excited to see in the upcoming pre-season game between the Cats and the Tigers down at Cardinia Park. We had a great mail sack contribution from Jared Foxy asking us our favourite.
What does the fox say?
The Fox says this. What are your favourite experienced players to look out for in this game? Who are your three favourite youngsters to look out for? And which three are you most excited for overall? So without further ado, Sam, we're going to start with the veterans. Which three veterans are you most excited to see in this pre-season game against the Tigers?
Well, first of all, Sam Menegola is obviously one of my faves of all time. Very solid player. Very keen to see how he comes back. I believe he had a bit of an injury in the off season. And as far as I know, he's back for the game. So I'm very, very excited to see him. Jeremy Cameron, read some good articles that you guys may have read as well about how fired up he is for this season. So I'm really keen to see how that translates. And I can't go past my boy, Gary Rowan.
Nice.
Has some troubles here and there with mentality and, keeping at his peak. And I feel like this season might be the season. And I reckon he's the kind of player that's going to have some fucking blast in the preseason. So yes, they're my three.
Nice.
Absolutely. Johnny, what about your three vets that you're most
My
excited to see?
three vets. Well, I'm going with the obvious choice in Joel Selwood. I've heard read some articles about him as well, about his changing game plan.
With the reading.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to see what Joel will bring this year as a captain. Isaac Smith, I'm also very excited to see. Had an absolutely outstanding season last year in the hoops, and I can't wait to see more. And Mitch Duncan as well. We didn't see much of him last year, and what we saw was really good towards the end of the season. So with the full pre-season under his belt, I feel like he's going to have another rip snorter of a year.
Absolutely. Well, the three vets that I'm most excited to see, I'm going with an obvious choice for me, and that's Tommy Stewart. I can't wait to see his blonde locks and blonde moustache out there flowing in the breeze, perfectly healthy.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm excited to see. Tommy Stewart get through the game in good health and good spirits. Also excited to see Paddy Dangerfield. Now, I wasn't the biggest Patrick Dangerfield fan up until last season. Danger won me over last year. Felt like he became a less me footballer. Thought it was the most team-orientated I'd ever seen him play at the Crows or at the Cats. So Paddy Dangerfield. And my third one is Jonathan Segler, the Ruckman from the Hawks. I'm interested to see the last time we went and recruited, a classic sort of tall man ruck was Brad Otten's prior to the premiership run. So fascinated to see if Segler can make a big impact. I don't know that he can be Otten's, but he could provide some improvement for the Cats in that department, even if it's helping some of the younger guys learn the ropes. Speaking of younger guys, Johnny, the three young guns you are looking forward to seeing in this preseason game against the Tigers.
First one, I'm not sure if he's playing this week, but I'm assuming he would be. And I think we're all super excited to see this guy play again, and that's Brandon Parfet. Can't wait to see him back out on the field playing his game, because he was playing some outstanding football, really starting to hit those stripes last year, really become a core member of that midfield until, unfortunately, he went out with that hamstring. And I thought that was that second blow that the team lost after Stewart. And I feel like he was a hugely important player to miss out in the finals. Next player is Max Holmes. I really liked what I saw of him last year. I thought he brought a lot of speed, a lot of energy, and just excellent football skills. And I feel like another pre-season season under his belt, and he will be getting up there as one of our better players. And he's this Isaac Smith type player, can run and gun and has an excellent kick on him. And my third youngster is the big rat. I'm really excited to see what he brings this year. I've tipped highly for him this year. I'm backing him every year because I feel like he's just got excellent talent. And can't wait to see what he brings to this team.
Absolutely. Sambo, the three youngsters you are most excited to see in the preseason game.
Well, I also have Brandon Parfet. Again, as John said, assuming he's playing, which we think he is. Coming back from injury, super excited to see how fired up he is to come back. And he was one of those players that was just criminally underrated, like a really, really valuable part of that engine room. And when we lost him, it really was the nail in the coffin of that season. So I'm very excited to see him come back. I also have Max Holmes, and mostly because he's the kind of player that he made some pretty almost comical blunders last year that we discussed on the pod. And we discussed them in such a way as to they were great indicators of his drive, his passion, and his fight, his hunger to get better, and his hunger to make some headlines and be a bit of a superstar. And his physicality wasn't quite there yet. So it's the kind of thing that it feels inevitable that at some point that will catch up. And so I'm really excited to see if this preseason is that time. And lastly, I have Francis Evans, young lad, also had some mishap with injury. Just seems like a potential to be a really me kind of player, the kind of player that I would really get behind. He's a young dude, seems to have some fire in him as well. Seems to have been stacking some muscle on the frame. So I'm pretty psyched to see how he goes. Again, assuming if not in the preseason game, whenever he gets selected.
Absolutely. And speaking of type players and guys who have stacked on the muscle, even as youngsters, I'm really excited to see James Willis, one of the young draft picks. I earmarked him as a future Sam Hall of Famer when we watched his highlights.
I remember this conversation.
Strong, bullocking kind of player with a sense for goal. Don't know why, something a little bit Gary Rowan about him. I don't know if he had, Gary Rowan's burning pace that Rowan came onto the scene with as a youngster, but there's something I really like about James Willis. Also really looking forward to seeing Tyson Stengel. I feel like that's a role Geelong has really lacked since, even since guys like Stevie J retired, those crumbing forwards, who can also apply pressure. I think Stengel could really be putting himself in line for round one selection, particularly if he starts things well in the preseason with a good game against the Tigers. And lastly, I have Sherlock Max Holmes as well, for all the same reasons that you guys talked about. Just a really exciting prospect. His first 7 games last season versus his last 7 games last season, night and day. He's got so much progress in him. He's already made so much progress. And I like the Isaac Smith comparison, Johnny. I think he is a break the lines kind of running player with a raking, booming kick on him that can scythe open a defense once he sort of crafts that ball use a little bit more as well. So they're the 3 youngsters I'm keen to see. We'll snake here. We'll snake. Sambo, out of all 6 that you've talked about, which 3 are you most excited to watch on the weekend?
Jeremy Cameron for number 1. I think, just as I said, those articles I read about him saying that this preseason has absolutely dominated any preseason he's had prior, and it just, he's coming out with a completely revamped attitude. He's determined as all get out to play this whole season, to be there every game, and to kick an absolute buttload of goals. So I'm genuinely cannot contain my excitement to see Big Jez out there again.
You talked about your excitement's getting me excited as well.
We're all getting excited together. It's lucky this is virtual. Lucky we're not all sat around a desk.
Yeah.
Secondarily, Brandon Parfet. For a slightly less sort of show-stopping reason, I'm just super excited to see Brandon Parfet back, putting in the work that he has done game in, game out for us. So it's not like I expect him to kick a crap ton of goals or anything like that. I don't even expect him to get much more recognition from the peripherals, like from non-Cat fans. But I'm just so excited to see him come back and do for us what he has previously been doing. And finally, Max Holmes, because I think he's probably the riskiest of the three. You know, we don't know yet if this will be the year when he comes out and really grabs it by the balls, but the potential has also got me excited. More excitement than I can handle right now.
Like a frog in a sock here. What about you, Johnny? Which three are you most
Lucky we've
excited
kept this
to see?
clean for YouTube.
One is Isaac Smith. Just excited to see what he can bring to the team again. I wasn't expecting to like him as much as I did last year, but boy, he won our hearts pretty quickly. Or he won my heart pretty quickly with that good winning goal against Brisbane. But even before that, just seeing him slot into this team like with ease, like he's been here the whole time, was just good fun to watch, and seeing just become a real solid part of this team. And I'm just excited to see him.
He
do
became
that
one of
again
the
this
good
year.
guys. He became one of the good guys.
He became a good guy.
Yeah.
He absolutely did. And it looked like he had a whole lot of fun. More fun than he's ever had.
What about the other two?
Other two, Brandon Parfet, the same reason as Sam, just, good player. Excited to see him play a full season again, hopefully injury-free, and help that midfield get through. And Holmes as well. Holmes is in there as well as another player I'm really excited to see. And not much more we can say, but bring on the youngsters.
Absolutely. Well, I'll make it a trifecta with Max Holmes as one of my three most hyped players that I'm excited to see, for the same reasons you guys said. We were on him late last year as well, and not even that late, really. We were on the ride with Max Holmes pretty early. So want to see how he's doing, want to see how he's progressing. I'll also put Tyson Stengel in that list. Just as I said, it's a role that Geelong has had vacant for a while. I think a true small forward that can kick. We really need that small forward that can kick the 25, 30 goals a season. It looked like it might be Brian Myers a couple of years ago, but that hasn't developed at this point. So I think Stengel can put his best foot forward and try and win that role going into week one. And finally, I'm going to go with Jonathan Segler. Bit of a,
Nice.
I don't know, underrated addition maybe this season. And I think we can learn a lot, even from a preseason game, with how much game time he gets and how they sort of use him, how the hit outs go. So yeah, Segler, Stengel, and Holmes for me. All right, that's it for the mini show. Thanks, Foxy, for sending in that submission. It was worthy of a little video show of its own. So that's what we've done. Go and listen to the Chaps Chat Cats on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We hit your ears every late Monday night / early Tuesday morning, depending where you are in the world, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Recapping the action from the Cats games on the weekends. We get in front of your eyeballs, live stream prior to every Cats men's and Cats women's game. So look out for the game times there, and then work backwards 40 minutes because we'll be doing pre-game shows for you live. The Chaps Chat Cats, keep it dialed right here.